Once we got married, Kara became a caseworker and worked in foster care and adoption. And that's when the reality really started to set in, that there's teenagers in our country and they simply just want a family. We ended up becoming house parents at a group home for teenagers in foster care.
One of those girls that we were able to really get to know well was Megan. She became very close with us. And so from 12 to 18, she had been in about 50 placements.
So it's 50 different group homes, 50 different foster homes, facilities, hospitals. It was a disaster. It was just trauma stacked on top of trauma, stacked on top of trauma. And then all of a sudden, she turns 18 years old. She's dropped off at the Greyhound bus stop, and she's got one bag of clothes and one night's worth of her bipolar medications. And that's her transition plan. That's her entrance into adulthood. And we were there. We saw this. We were standing there, and it just felt horrible. Some questions just started flowing through our minds. One is, where is the church in this? Followed by this uncomfortable voice of, you are the church. And then this question of, why isn't somebody doing something? Followed again by this uncomfortable voice of, why don't you do something? And really, the big question in my heart was, whose kids are these? And again, this just uncomfortable, true sense that these are our kids. Megan was our kid. And it turns out that there's 200 to 250 youth that age out of foster care every year in our state.
Well, we couldn't ignore what we saw. And so we started talking with church members and community stakeholders, and every conversation led to the same need. These youth need a place to belong. They need a place to have identity, a place where they could have their basic needs met, to learn those life skills that they haven't learned. In short, a place where youth in crisis can heal and become whole.
So we opened the doors in 2010 with 2 youth and a couple apartments at the corner of Asher and University. God brought around people, resources, help, ideas, and we figured it out, one youth at a time.
So a few years in, we had a couple houses and we were serving about a dozen youth or so. But we kept on coming across other youth who maybe hadn't been in the foster care system, but were homeless, maybe runaway. But we learned after we got to know these youth that even though they weren't in foster care, they were the same youth.
They all need the same basic things. They need a place to stay. They need life skills. They need some basic resources. They need a place to belong and a place to heal, a place to feel like they have a purpose and people who are there for them.
So altogether, we estimate that there are about 1,000 of these youth in our area.
And we're gonna go after these kids. We're gonna pursue them. We're gonna find them. We're sometimes gonna go out looking for them and bring them in. So we're asking everybody, the church, businesses, government, anybody, to jump in and say, this is not okay. And together, we're gonna do something about it.